welcome back to Spinning Iris. It's day 2, which means it is time for chapter 2 of Voltaire's Candide. Are we ready? I'm ready. Got my comfy cushion, got my book. Let's go. Chapter 2. What happened to Candide among the Bulgars? After being driven from his earthly paradise, Candide walked for a long time without knowing where he was going, weeping, raising his eyes to heaven, looking back often toward the most beautiful of castles which contained the most beautiful of young baronesses. He lay down without supper between 2 furrows in an open field. It was snowing in large flakes. The next day, chilled to the bone, he dragged himself to the nearest town, whose name was Waldberg Hoftracht-Dickdorf. Penniless, dying of hunger and fatigue, he stopped sadly in front of an inn. 2 men, dressed in blue, noticed him. "Comrade," said one of them, "there is a well-built young man who's just the right height." They went up to Candide and politely asked him to dine with them. "Gentlemen," said Candide, with charming modesty, "I am deeply honored, but I have no money to pay my share." "Ah, sir," said one of the men in blue, "people of your appearance and merit never pay anything. Aren't you 5 feet 5? "Yes, gentlemen, that is my height," he said, bowing. "Come, sirs, sit down. We'll not only pay for your dinner, but we'll never let a man like you be short of money. Men were made only to help each other." "You're right," said Candide. "That's what Dr. Pangloss always told me, and I see that all is for the best." They begged him to accept a little money. He took it and offered to sign a note for it, but they would not let him. They all sat down to table. "Don't you dearly love—" "Oh, yes," answered Candide, "I dearly love Lady Cunegonde." "No," said one of the men, "we want to know if you dearly love the King of the Bulgars." "Not at all," said Candide, "because I've never seen him." "What? He's the most charming of kings, and we must drink to his health." "Oh, I'll be glad to, gentlemen." And he drank. "That's enough," he was told. "You're now the support, the upholder, the defender, and the hero of the Bulgars. Your fortune is made, and your glory is assured." They immediately put irons on his legs and took him to a regiment. He was taught to make right and left turns, raise and lower the ramrod, take aim, fire, and march double time, and he was beaten 30 times with a stick. The next day he performed his drills a little less badly, and was given only 20 strokes. The following day he was given only 10, and his fellow soldiers regarded him as a prodigy. Candide, utterly bewildered, still could not make out very clearly how he was a hero. One fine spring day he decided to take a stroll. He walked straight ahead, believing that the free use of the legs was a privilege of both mankind and the animals. He had not gone 5 miles when 4 other heroes, all 6 feet tall, overtook him, bound him, brought him back, and put him in a dungeon. With proper legal procedure, he was asked which he would prefer, to be beaten 36 times by the whole regiment, or to receive 12 bullets in his brain. It did him no good to maintain that man's will is free, and that he wanted neither. He had to make a choice. Using the gift of God known as freedom, he decided to run the gauntlet 36 times, and did so twice. The regiment was composed of 2,000 men, so his punishment was so far composed of 4,000 strokes, which had laid bare every muscle and nerve from his neck to his backside. As they were preparing for a 3rd run, Candide, unable to go on, begged them to blow his brains out instead. The favor was granted. He was blindfolded and made to kneel. Just then the King of the Bulgars came by and inquired about the condemned man's crime. Being a highly intelligent king, he realized from what he was told that Candide was a young metaphysician, utterly ignorant of worldly matters, and pardoned him with a clemency that will be praised in all newspapers and all ages. A worthy surgeon healed Candide in 3 weeks with the emollients prescribed by Dioscorides. He already had a little skin and was able to walk when the King of the Bulgars joined battle with the King of the Avars. And that's it for chapter 2. There was a little chapter note in here regarding what just happened with Candide. The 2 men in blue, these are Prussians recruiting sergeants. These are Prussian recruiting sergeants. The Bulgars here represent the Prussians and the Avars the French, during the 7 Years' War, which was in progress as Voltaire wrote Candide. So Let's see, he's already drawing from real life. And basically, Candide was conscripted into fighting for an army he knows nothing about, for a king he doesn't know. Shenanigans will ensue, presumably. Alright, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you next time for Chapter 3. Bye-bye. The next day, chilled to the bone, he dragged himself to the nearest town, whose name was Waldberghof Dickdorf. Waldberghof Dickdorf. Waldberghof Dickdorf. Good way of saying this.